On the podcast, the Greens want a Tauranga to Auckland daily train service. Now, of all the mad off the planet type of things that they stand for and say, this is possibly the most sensible, normal thing that they've said this year, maybe in 2 years. Imagine if they did more of this. God, they might become useful. Welcome to the podcast.
Are we paying these people to front up, or are we paying them to fly to Wellington to eat their lunch? Should you really lose your career for refusing to take part in a 90-minute lesson about Māori culture? This government doesn't actually have any idea how to get economic growth. Show us what you made of, Prime Minister.
Editor-in-Chief with Duncan Garner.
Okay, you're with the Editor-in-Chief. Good evening, everyone. I'm Duncan Garner. Welcome along, and please subscribe. It helps us stay around for at least another week. Thank you so much. Now, trains aren't for everyone, right? Indeed, this government's made it clear that roads are its priority, and that superhighway that will be built north of Auckland is a priority. And when that's been built over the next 10 years, it'll take $1 in every $4 that we spend on infrastructure, 1 in every 4. So it's pretty significant. But truth is, a good transport system needs excellent roads, excellent public transport, in the form of buses, trains, cycleways, bus lanes. It needs everything to be humming, basically. Trains in New Zealand used to dominate, but that seems like another century ago. And the criticism of our trains is they're not quick enough because of the narrowness and age of the tracks and the rail cars that sit above it. So the Tauranga Auckland train was stopped just over 20 years ago due to low numbers using it. But Tauranga has significantly changed since then. It's had 2.5 decades of mass migration and 2 housing booms. Tens of thousands of people have decided to flock into Tauranga, and they're there, and the Mount as well, of course. And currently, get this, more than half of New Zealand's population lives in that golden triangle: Hamilton, Auckland, Tauranga. Half of the country's population, and so much of the growth lives there. And it's also got some of the worst congestion now on record heading into Tauranga. So what about a train? I say, yeah, why not? And I'll explain why shortly. But the Hamilton to Auckland train may not be fast, but it has become hugely popular. And it's only been around a few years. When my kids were young, I'd take the train from Wellington to Palmy as they were in fielding. Easier than driving. Yet this government appears to be among the naysayers who oppose trains, who say they don't take you to where you really need to go. And it can involve walking, cycling, Uber taxi at the end of it. So it doesn't see the point of them. I'm going to be consistent on this and support this idea because I suggested a train go between Auckland, Hamilton, Tauranga in 2016 as the host of Radio Live Drive. I ran a bit of a campaign on it. Possibly the first thing that I've supported that's also a Green Party idea. You may disagree with me. I'm keen to hear from you, so let's go.
It's the Slam Dunk.
Okay, it's called the Golden Triangle. Auckland, Hamilton, Tauranga. Half the country's population lives in either one of these cities or within this triangle. And it's getting bigger and more congested, busier, and more people arrive every day. Hamilton has seen 20% growth year on year for almost 10 years. Astonishing. I mean, Hamilton, who knew it was that popular? Tauranga, well, it's because Auckland's house prices are off the charts. Tauranga likewise off the charts. More than 2 million people will live in Auckland within 5 years, by 2030. The Golden Triangle sees more people, more freight, more trucks, more congestion on the roads daily. It's a huge chunk of this country's GDP, and what happens in this small space is crucial to the country's future. Now, I've driven to Tauranga. I was there recently. I did it 3 times in a week, across the week actually, and also twice across a fortnight, which was a couple of years ago. It's a disaster. You know, it took an hour for me to drive the last 10 Ks into Tauranga. Last 10 Ks took 1 hour. And the big new shiny highway set to replace the dreadfully slow and not-for-purpose road, which is there now, which is the gateway to Tauranga off the Kaimai Ranges, is not set down to be replaced until 2050. That's when they'll start construction on the new highway. 2050. And then it'll take 5-10 years to build that too. Tauranga residents are being told they're likely going to die before they see congestion ease, before they get a proper gateway in there. Honestly, you can't make this stuff up. I've also done a bit of work with the council, Tauranga Council, on congestion and plans to ease it. And I'm convinced we've got to try something different. The numbers of trucks and freight, the size of these things, gets bigger and bigger. And Auckland, Waikato, Tauranga are popular places. It's where half the country is. Plus, we have an ageing population as well. Anything to get them onto the train off the roads is probably a good thing, isn't it? Do we want the old buggers on the roads? The Kaimais, a number of these roads off the Kaimais and the Kaimais themselves are downright dangerous. And why wouldn't you want to put these Kiwis into the safety of a rail car and ease traffic, keep people safer at the same time? It's for these reasons I say let's restart the now defunct service. So we have the Triangle, Auckland, Hamilton, Tauranga service. Make it fly past the Auckland airport if we have to as well. Imagine that. You know, you're a couple leaving Tauranga, heading to Bali, right? No car, no tiredness, no dodgy driving, bags packed, and you're on your way to the international airport in Auckland, and you hop off the train. No parking fees. It also links up to the CBD rail tunnel in Auckland. There's been a $4 billion investment there. This is making sense, isn't it? Our tracks and trains can't host rapid rail right now. So if we make a minimal investment of about $10 million, you could get it up and going now. It would take 3.5 hours to get Auckland to Tauranga. 3.5 hours. So it's no quicker than driving. But not much money would go into it, as I say, 10 mil, and it'd be slow. We'd be using the old trains and the current tracks. But I think 3.5 hours defeats the purpose. It defeats the purpose of having rapid rail. That's not rapid rail, but we can start there and get people back into the culture of taking the train. Over time, and for a much larger maybe $1.5 billion investment, you could get a rapid rail service. I think that'd be transformational. Fast, sustainable, intercity rapid trains connecting Auckland, Tauranga, Hamilton. Consistent travel times, 2 hours between Auckland and Tauranga. Less than 90 minutes between Hamilton and Auckland, and less than 60 minutes between Hamilton and Tauranga. That'll result in over half the population of New Zealand being more efficient and more productive. This is one of our issues. We always talk about this in the country. We have a productivity issue. Well, this would change the game. No need to sit on clogged motorways. You could have your laptop out, your phone, you're doing work on a train. I mean, if you're in the car, you're achieving nothing. Sure, the current Hamilton service is far from perfect. This is the Hamilton-Auckland service. But it's going well now. People like it, and it's been widely used. If we had a regional rapid rail, it's not just a plan for fast trains, it's a regional development proposal. That'll help the population, it'll help growth, it'll help the development of the country on a national scale. Investments in new rapid trains and track upgrades will leverage the existing rail network that we have there now, allowing it to provide a fast and high-capacity passenger system to complement the state highway network, like the Waikato Expressway. Because without rapid passenger rail, the expressway and all the highways that connect, and you've been on these roads yourself, they get overwhelmed by traffic. We've all seen it, we've all sat in it. One flat tyre and traffic's backed up for days. If we have a rapid rail, it would also be a catalyst for new stations through the Waikato, new developments. It would reinvigorate local economies. Oh, we haven't got the money. We haven't got the money. Yes, we do. This is about productivity. That's worth investing in. Use KiwiSaver funds. Issue bonds. Let's buy into it. Jacinda Ardern was going to spend $28 billion on a light rail through Mount Roskill to the airport. $28 billion for light rail down Dominion Road. She spent $2 billion seeing if it was viable. Consultants writing fancy reports. So money got vast waste of money. Flashy reports, consultants getting rich. No train set. Honestly, we've spent so much money in this country, our debt's ballooned, and we've got nothing to show for it. This way, at least we'll be able to see something, use something, feel it, touch it, sit in it. And it could link up to the huge work going on under the ground in Auckland right now, which is that CBD rail tunnel. Honestly, I can't see the bad bit. Am I deluded? You can answer this question. Is there something wrong with me? Put the current trains back on the route now. Tell people to use it or lose it. We modernise it over time as it gets popular. Make it modern, make it quicker. But this golden triangle is where the people are, and it's where much of the growth is happening within the New Zealand economy, and it's going to continue that way. It's only going to get bigger. Auckland will have 2 million people in 5 years. Now, there are 200,000 commuters and residents that we have now. This triangle is the engine room of the New Zealand economy. This is the bit we've got to get right. If this makes us all more productive, then surely it's a yes. I'm not some anti-road freak. I say build roads, dig and drill and dig and all that. I do it all. The Kaimais are a death trap, like the Bryn Derwin's hopeless. And current trains and tracks sit dormant due to the decision to mothball these things 22 years ago. So there's a train track and a train there, and we can do it. But we're much, much bigger now. Congestion's way worse. We need some other options and solutions. This is good for your safety. It takes people and possibly you off the road. The ageing population, as I said. I mean, who's going to trust Isaac's grandmother on the Kaimais, you know, or my mother, you know. It's hopefully quicker in the years ahead too, so it's good for productivity and it's good for the environment. So more efficient, could save your life and help save the planet. What on earth are we waiting for? I was a huge advocate for the Hamilton-Auckland service. Sure, it had teething problems, but it's better to have it than not to have it, right? And surely we're still ambitious for our own success. To those who say it can't be done, well, we'll ignore them and we'll just get on with it. Use Shane Jones's Regional Development Fund if we need the money. But more than 2.5 million residents live in this catchment right now. It'll be 3 million within 10 years, maybe 5 years. So we've built a reliable service. People will find it hard to ignore. Imagine going to Auckland for the rugby, Auckland for an event, for someone's 21st, whatever, to the airport, to the zoo, to watch the Warriors. Sure, it won't be for everyone, but we need to have the option. It's not this service that will bankrupt us. What will bankrupt us is our lack of action, our lack of ambition, signing up to endless welfare checks and never-ending superannuation for everyone. No matter how rich you are, we can give it all. We throw money around in this country willy-nilly. It's time we start to see something back for what we have, for the money we spend. We have the tracks, we have the trains. Let's kickstart it, market it, and get in behind it. See, I've almost forgotten that I'm supporting a Green Party idea. Besides, I'm not. I'm supporting common sense. And my support for this is currently 11 years old. I decided 2016, 2016, 9 years old, that we have finally to do something. So let's do it. We won't get better, faster, smarter and wealthier and happier doing nothing. We've got to back ourselves. So let's go.
Editor-in-Chief with Duncan Garner.
Okay, so a group's formed called The Future is Rail. They're formed because they want to develop and push the idea of rail. They've got lots of ideas. Of course, the Tauranga to Auckland, the Golden Triangle Rail service or set is one of their ideas as well. Lindsay Horne lives in Tauranga, works in Auckland, so it would suit her down to the ground, and she's one of the campaigners, and she joins us now. Lindsay, g'day, nice to have you on.
Thanks, Duncan. Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. Hey, so how, you used to live in Tauranga. So is this how did you get caught up in this Rail's Our Future group? Because I mean, I'm right in behind you. Let's just do something. Let's just do this.
I hear you.
So why are you such a big supporter?
Thanks. Yeah, I'm born and bred Tauranga, but my workplace is in Auckland. I've got friends in Hamilton. I travel around the country a fair bit, and I just want to have more options of getting around. It makes a lot of sense when you think about climate emissions, and it makes a lot of sense when you think about how scary it can be on our roads traveling long distances. And honestly, if it's good enough for Wellington and Palmerston North to have a service, if the Southerner is making a return, like if Invercargill and Dunedin can get a long distance train, I think it makes sense for the Golden Triangle, where a big proportion of our population lives. It just makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, well, it's half the country now, and it's half and increasing. And we've got an Auckland-Hamilton service now. You know, you've got the Wellington-Palmer, you've got all these things. Tauranga, what we're doing is adding on the arm, adding on that sort of that wing out there. And Tauranga is a big city now. It's a really sort of progressive, growing, developing city. It's time.
It makes a lot of sense. People want to connect socially. A lot of us have friends and family in the Waikato, in Auckland. We want to go to concerts. We know the Aucklanders love coming to the Mount, especially in summer. And it makes a lot of sense to also connect our economies as well. Like a good example is the Waikato Uni. They are looking to expand their campus to Tauranga and really grow that campus. At the moment, they're having to put buses on. It can be a bit of a drama getting their students to and from. Likewise with other businesses. It just makes a lot of sense to connect people socially and economically.
Yeah, and it's safer too. This will save lives. I mean, I have no doubt about it that if you are in a rail car compared to a car on some of those hot spots, you've got the Kaimai Ranges, you've got the Karangahaki Gorge, depending on which way you want to go. You've got those narrow straights all the way through the sort of Waikato as you head in towards the lower Bombays there. Then you've got the Bombay Hills, and you've got the Southern Motorway, and there are so many choke points there as well. Like you can sit there and go nowhere for an hour.
Yeah,
on a bad day.
And everyone in Omokoroa knows it every single day as well. Yeah, rail and travelling by train is just such a safe way to go. And it's also just really relaxing. Kids can walk around. There's access to a bathroom. Imagine a dining cart. Like imagine if we can choose what kind of beer we want to have on our little trip to Hamilton or to Auckland. It's just a really dignified, dreamy way to travel.
You might want something stronger going to Hamilton. I mean, I don't know. But I mean, Hamilton's got popular, so Auckland's, because of Auckland's prices of houses, because it's become so ridiculous, the entry point's so high, there's just squeezed so many people out. Auckland's spread, right? Auckland's just lumped itself down towards Huntly and down towards Hamilton. So Hamilton's become an option for people to live because, well, that's what they can afford. And then you've got the Waikato. And so you'd see a bit of spread, but at least it would be serviced. Now, the train tracks that are there now and the rail cars that we have, could you start a service shortly based on what we've got?
Yeah, there's definitely opportunities for that, and at the moment there's also we're looking at getting more rolling stock for some of our other services, particularly in the lower North Island. And with these kinds of bids, there's definitely economies of scale. So if we're going to put a bid in for more rolling stock for the Capital Connection, we could add to that for Tahuya, which is the Auckland Hamilton service, and then bada bing, bada boom, we've got a service. A lot of the existing infrastructure is there.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? So let's use it because it's been built years ago, but it's not that modern. If you look at the I don't know much about it, but I've read a little bit about the tracks aren't built for a rapid speed or rapid rail. So you could, though, over time, throw $1.5 billion into the investment, upgrade the tracks, upgrade the cars, and you could have a rapid rail service, couldn't you?
I mean, anything's possible. It depends on what kind of service we want. We do know that electrification is already on the table for Golden Rail. Like, that's been signified that the extension of the line will get electrified. So at the very least, we could do electric trains. But if, the powers that be want to make it rapid, then that's always on the table. What we're really pushing for is a business case. Like, let's work through some of these options. Let's see where the stops should be. Let's see what the timetable should be and get it into that business case so we can answer some of these questions.
And if you look at the transport budget, you look at the budget that we spend on roading, and this government's really committed to building highways, right? They want to build that northern motorway through to Whangarei, and they're going to bring it forward and fast track this and that. So they're going to, and that'll take up a quarter of all the infrastructure spend into the next 10 years. Oh, that's a massive project.
Roads
We're not
are
talking
very expensive.
They are, and in this instance, because we have some infrastructure there, we're not talking much to kick this off, are we?
Well, the lines already exist, right? Like, Tauranga is a major port. We have a lot of freight, and what's good for passenger trains is also good for freight. So if you're investing into these services for passenger trains, there are co-benefits for freight as well. And yeah, those lines already exist. It's really about getting the carriages and coordinating with freight, and then essentially we're good to go.
How hard does this have to be? I mean, how expensive are rail cars? How expensive are carriages? What are we looking at?
I don't know the ins and outs, but it's something that this is something that our government and our political parties should be looking at, and our local government as well. This is what should be at their agenda, figuring out how much this costs, how we can make it happen.
Yeah, make it happen. I mean, we spent, I think we might have spent close on $2 billion just on feasibility studies for the light rail to the airport through Dominion Road and out to Mount Roskill and out the back there. And of course, that was costed at its highest $28 billion. For not much really, but it was going to move people to the airport. But that's off the table now. That government's gone. $28 billion, hasn't been committed to. But so much money was spent on consultants alone. The money that we spent on consultants for that could have got this thing underway.
Exactly. And I guess that's new infrastructure. Like, they were talking about laying down new tracks, whereas we already have the lines to Tauranga and they're already going to get electrified. So there's, I think we've definitely got a head start on it. But it's something I think the community is really getting behind it. And the other thing is that, yes, there's a cost involved, but also there's benefits to be made. And, if we're talking about connecting economies, if we're talking about different people coming in and out of Tauranga, coming in and out of Hamilton, coming in and out of Auckland, money always is part of the transaction, and people go and spend and go to concerts and go to Hamilton Gardens and come to the Mount. Yeah. There's economic benefits as well.
No, totally, because then it makes the money fluid. It starts to be flexible and moves around the country. But not just that, our productivity gets better, because when you're sitting in the car for 3.5 hours, getting tired and becoming a threat and a danger to yourself and others, you're not working. But if you're on the train, you're probably drinking. But if you're on the train, you might be working. You might be productive. I mean, I used to get the train from Wellington to Palmy all the time, and the Capital Connection, I think it was, and there's so many people on there, doing their work or pretending to. But it is a far more productive thing than it is driving. Driving is just so unproductive. And it's slow.
Demons. I'm such a grump when I'm in the car. So, yeah. And look, Tahuya is set up with Wi-Fi. It's got power ports. It's got USB ports. It's got tables. It's also got a dining cart. You can get a barista-made coffee. It's great.
Yeah, and so that had a bit of a rough start, there was all sorts of media headlines around that, but I knew that would settle, and it has. And it's actually really popular now, right?
Yeah, well, it started during COVID, which is always a rough start. And now they increased their Saturday service, they increased their Sunday service. The assumption when it started was that it was going to be a commuter train, and it absolutely is. But what we've seen with Tahuya is that some of their midday services are really popular. We're seeing that it's not just for commuters. A lot of students are using it. A lot of elderly people are using it. A lot of people are going up for concerts. The social reasons of why people are using it are just as high as commuters, and actually a quarter of the people using Tahuya are Aucklanders coming down to Hamilton. So it goes.
Yeah, the rugby test in Hamilton. Aucklanders come down on the train, and so that's where I talk about the productivity and the safety and the climate emissions. I mean, there's just so many boxes to tick. That's a yes for me. I just can't. I don't see the downside because this was around 20 years ago.
It was, yeah, exactly.
What happened?
Oh, our rail network has been underinvested in for a long time, so it kind of just got slowly degraded. But with the City Rail Link opening and with Tahuya, we're seeing a lot of improvements in the Golden Triangle area, and obviously with Tauranga Port, those freight lines are still in really, really good condition. So I think it just makes a lot of sense across the country, to be honest. Imagine if we had an overnight sleeper service to Wellington. We're talking about the return of the Southerner and Capital Connection. It makes a lot of sense, but it really makes a lot of sense when you talk about the Golden Triangle as well.
How do you convince this government? Because they're tar seal boys and girls, they're roadies. And,
right? And especially for the Golden Triangle, like I can see, it might not make sense everywhere, but I think when we're talking about Tauranga, Hamilton and Auckland and connecting those economies, you can have your highway, but you can also have your trains too. I mean, they're already
Well, we've built the highway. The highway's been built. The expressway's there. The Northern Road, it's all there now. But this would complement everything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's like every other grown-up city and grown-up country has highways and roads. It's just about giving people transport choices as well. And the thing that I get really excited about is if you think about where the stops might be in Tauranga and Bay of Plenty, it's, you come in from Hamilton, you could stop in Omakaroa, you could stop in Tauranga, maybe a stop at the Mount or near Bay Park, and then through to Te Puke. Yeah. Then all of a sudden, you've got Metro Rail. Like Tauranga has a train service within the city.
I think you would. You'd stop. I don't know if the Mount would be able to accommodate it because it's pretty squeezed up there anyway. But somewhere close, what's next to that? Bay Fair, is it? No,
Bay Fair and Bay Park, because it could stop off there on its way to Te Puke, and then in the future maybe even Whakatane could be good. Yeah,
you could go down the coast.
Dream with me, Duncan. Imagine that. It'd be lovely.
Yeah, but you could go down the coast. Save getting that speeding ticket I got last time. But it's just that Hewlett's Road in Tauranga. It is an absolute disaster zone. The Mount's become a disaster in terms of traffic. That bridge is a disaster coming into that. The way I came into Tauranga, I just could not. I arrived at a bad time, but I could not find a arterial route that was not clogged.
Yeah,
it was like Tauranga's really bad, isn't it?
It's really bad. Like, I've spent a lot of time in Auckland and I thought that was bad, and then coming back into Tauranga and it's like, oh, have we not learnt from these mistakes? Yeah.
No, and but we've got these trucks, you've got so many, because the trucks are big, that port is New Zealand's most impressive port. Mm-hmm. Like this is not a small port. This is the biggest, most busiest and most efficient and capable port in the country.
Yeah.
So those trucks go somewhere, and they're usually heading north,
Yeah, and we're sharing our roads with them, and it's scary. Even if accidents don't happen, you clench it, you got your white knuckles, and it's pretty scary going over the kaimais with some of these huge trucks as well. So to give the option to put more freight onto rail, and then also to put people onto passenger trains as well, just to have it in the mix, it makes a lot of sense.
When the government comes back and says, oh, well, there's not enough people, we haven't got the population density and it will cost too much, what do you say to that?
Look at the Capital Connection. I mean, it's there in Lower Wellington area, and we've just seen the Southerner that came back for a service being fully booked out, and that was so popular that they're bringing it back for Labour weekend. It's the option is there. Tahuya's just put on a Saturday service. They've put on another Sunday service. There's demand for more. I mean, the demand is there.
And we have an ageing population too. And an ageing population, it might be safer for them to be off the roads, The older you get, the harder it gets to drive, to see. I mean, I know this because I'm getting older. To see at night, just so many reasons. And I reckon this government should take a bold punt and stand for something. My criticism of Chris Luxton and his mates have been that, and even John Key, was that they have a mandate, they've been put in office. Now it's time to do something. Have a legacy project, have something that you can say, well, I'd put that on, like Michael Cullen says, well, he did Kiwi Saver, Jim Anderton did Kiwi Bank, so they can say this. What did this guy do?
Exactly. And look, we saw John Key sign off on the dotted line for City Rail Link in Auckland. This government has been supportive of sustainable transport and trains where it makes sense, and the Golden Triangle is one of those spaces where we could definitely see them getting in behind it as well.
Yeah, and that wasn't their idea, and that wasn't their idea. This thing under the ground here in Auckland. I mean, that I think, I know Liam Brown was quite noisy on it, but it didn't come from John Key and Stephen Joyce. They spent years saying, oh, it's a bit expensive, but when they looked at themselves in the mirror and said, oh, this has to be done, because they're trying to move people from up top and underneath and move them around, and that makes sense because this city's going to have 2 million people in it in 5 years.
Exactly,
2 million. It's not a small city.
Yeah, and we know that their coalition partners, New Zealand First and Winston Peters, have been long-time rail fans, and we know that Winston's got a special spot for Tauranga in his heart as well. So, I think it makes a lot of sense across the political spectrum.
We need to pull on the nostalgic sort of heartstrings because Winston, they love that, don't they? I can just see the guy with his guitar at the new train station, and New Zealand First supporters hopping on to a Winston Peters meeting in South Auckland or something. Yeah, they'll get there, all right. No, I just think
and the fact that it's licensed as well. You have a little tipple on board in between meetings.
Yeah, he'd love that. Yeah, is there a smoking card? But I just think that Labour will support it. The Greens support it. Te Pāti Māori support it. It's just about getting national up and over, but it's an infrastructure project. We have the funds. We've also got long-term investment funds we could use as well. Kiwi Saver.
Exactly.
There's hundreds of millions of dollars there. So it's about how ambitious we want to be.
Yeah, and it's like, just get the business case going, like have a look at it, see how it makes sense, look at the costs, but also weigh up the benefits. Like, what are the benefits of connecting these economies? What are the social benefits? What are the healthcare benefits? Like, getting what we know through train services is that we've seen healthcare really open up for people when they can't get to and from hospitals as well. Like, if you think about Huntly, imagine if we put in some stops for Te Kaupata and Pokeno so that they could access some of these services as well. It really this sounds intense, but it does change people's lives if you've got access from small
you're right.
big cities.
Yeah, absolutely right. Yeah. Yeah, these corridors, when these corridors are laid, like motorways or railway lines, it always has the potential to create these satellite projects along the way, and we've seen nothing yet. I believe we've seen nothing yet. In terms of, and I think you're right. I don't think it won't just be sort of tourists or commuters. There will be all sorts of people jumping on there. Special events.
Now's the time to invest in Morrinsville, Duncan.
Yeah, or maybe Paidor.
yeah, exactly. Buy along that corridor.
Yeah. Hey, it's good talking with you. Do you get sick of driving that route? Do you get sick of driving it, or do you not drive it? Or how do you do it?
Yeah, over the kaimais, I'm white knuckled when I'm going over there, in and amongst the trucks. Yeah, it's especially when, as you say, you could be on the Wi-Fi, you could be having a drink, you could be texting your mates, looking out the window. Yeah, for me, it's a pretty simple choice.
Listening to podcasts.
Yeah, exactly.
You're creating one. Hey, nice to see you, Lindsay. All the best. Keep fighting for this. Look, its time will come. I believe it's now, but its time will come. Politically, the support will get there. It's just you have to campaign so hard to get these things over the line, eh?
Oh, we're keen on it. You'll see us around. Yeah, I think we think it's worth it. We think it's worth making a song and dance about.
Yeah, I think you should. And keep going too. Good on you. Keep making noise.
I'll see you on board.
Editor-in-Chief with Duncan Garner.
Right, it's time for Letters to the Editor. And a couple here, Duncan. Just listen to your co-governance podcast. You're the only one who's got the courage to speak about the Māori takeover. As Coots in Despair said, over the lone dolphin stopping the sale GP in Timaru in 2024, Māori have all the power. I'm convinced your calling is politics. Oh, God. You have the courage, smarts and fire in your belly, Duncan. Your taxpayer-funded ex-wife gets paid plenty to talk all the woke DEI bullshit, quote unquote. You're the real talent, and like Sean, you've been shunned by mainstream media as you tell the truth. No doubt you will laugh at my suggestion. Keep up the good work. You're making a difference. Regards, Wendy. Thank you, Wendy. I think I've got too many skeletons in my closet to go into politics. I think I'd be run out of town, maybe. I don't know. Can I affect change from out here? I believe I can, but maybe you tell me if maybe I can't. And I'd get. Which party would I stand for? I'd be consumed by it. Then they'd eat me and ship me out, wouldn't they? Would they? I think I'm a journalist. I'm not a politician. Right. That's us. Thanks for your feedback and all your support. Of course, get in touch through our social media at Duncan Garner Podcast, TikTok, Instagram. Also, flick an email, duncan@rover.nz. To my team, Isaac, thank you, brother. Lockie's out there too. Thank you, Lockie. We'll do it again tomorrow. Remember, life's no dress rehearsal, no curtain raiser. This is it. We live in one of the best places on earth, so get out and enjoy what we have. And have a great rest of the day. Take care. Enjoy your weekend. Ta-ra.
Editor-in-Chief with Duncan Garner.